see how it goes. Hi guys, trying something new for my Facebook Live session. So I don't know. Since I'm trying to post something as well that's relatively different. I'm trying to do more videos that I can actually sustain on a regular basis. So if you guys have questions, wherever you are in the world right now, feel free to ask them, and I'll try to answer your questions. Oh, we have someone tuned in already. You have Inocencio Yang saying hello to you, Inocencio. From where are you from? I hope that the Facebook Live sessions that we've been doing over the past few months is something very, very helpful to you as well. You have John Poral, hello to you. Then you have John De La Cruz asking, kailan po kayo sa Dubai? John, I'll be in Dubai this July 10 to 15, July 10 to 14, I think. Again, 4 to 5 sessions of technical analysis, then fundamental analysis. Hello, Pinky. Hello, Angelo. Hello to Jerome. Hello to Mark Reyes from Sharjah. Good evening to you guys there. Good morning already to those who are in Manila. Hello, Renelyn from Batanes Tours. One of the best Batanes tour operators in the country. Hello, JM from Qatar. Ayan, we have our first question from Alcin Jumdana. Sabi niya, hi Marvin, the Brexit expected to happen. It was so fast. Wait lang, let me see the comments. Okay, I think the question was from Brexit. No? I'm trying to figure out how I can actually read the questions in particular. For Marvin, Tan is asking about London. We're hoping to have a schedule also soon. We're hoping to have a schedule soon when we can do stock smarts there. You have Lenko asking about the Wilcon IPO. I'll create a separate video for Wilcon, but there's a couple of things that I could tell you already now. Number one, the Wilcon IPO will benefit from a lot of the construction that's going on, and a lot of people would use a lot of their products as well for you have to consider and take note that Wilcon is into the retail segment as well. More construction, more condos that are being built. Wilcon will benefit from that. I'll post a lot of things about where will the IPO proceeds go, but just a couple of rule of thumbs for IPO. Number one, when companies go into an IPO, I like that they would use the money for expansion. I'm not a big fan of them using it for debt repayment. I want them that when they use the money, it will be for building this number of stores for them. And between primary and secondary shares, I like the number of shares that will be sold to be used by the company, and it wouldn't just go to the owners that they can use na pang extra money nila doon. Between the question about Brexit, the Philippines will be more resilient compared to other countries in the region, especially when it comes to I think OFW remittances and also exports. We might be hit around 5% in that regard, but compared to other regions, other countries that would trade with them more, they would be more affected than us as a whole. I saw a question about SM. No, SM dropped 9% last Friday. As it dropped 9% last Friday, you normally don't see that for a lot of the blue chip companies that have relatively larger market caps. One of the things that caused SM to go down was really more of price action, more of rebalancing. It's not just how do I put this? It's really nothing fundamentally. There's nothing fundamentally wrong for SM at this point. They were sold down by a lot of foreign brokers, especially those that are are switching and trying to fine tune it with the same allocation as the PSEI. You have to remember there's a rebalancing for the PSEI. So whatever allocations that were for SM, they had to shift it, and part of that was them trying to sell their shares. So a couple of things that I'd like to say there. Since there's nothing fundamentally wrong with SM, you're actually buying it at 9% cheaper than what it was when last week started. That's one thing. The second one was for those who are looking at the charts, I mentioned this last week that SM at around 600 is at support. If it bounces, the 9% upside is your gain for the stock. However, if it drops, you can see the stock probably go down to around 580 pesos per share, around that level as its initial support. So, ayun, I hope you're liking this new setup. Again, I guess the biggest benefit for this is I can do more Facebook live sessions for all of you. All right. For those asking for specific stock requests, please include them in the stocks by request, and then I'll tally all of your votes. But we will do another stocks by request session, most likely mid this week again, and the top stocks will be the ones that we will tackle as well. I saw Randall Chongson tune in. We're excited to do our Icon 2017. It will be this May 27. So just log in www.bit.ly icon_2017 for more details on the event as well. We have Alcin Jumana watching from Kingdom Saudi Arabia. Hello to you. Then you have Rotek at Nalak. Hi Sir Marvin, nandito naman kayo from Abu Dhabi. Bought JFC. JFC is what we mentioned in the stocks by request, is in a downtrend still. Lenko is asking, how do you spot pick the next blue chip stocks? Is there a certain criteria that we should look for? The criteria don't change. Whatever you use for in fundamental analysis doesn't change. You have to buy good stocks that are growing, that are undervalued, that are in an expanding industry. The way I look at it is I want companies with very, very consistent earnings, that regardless of what's happening in the economy, they would be relatively resilient as well. So one of the things that I look for is I love companies with a great brand recognition. You want companies that their products or services are not just treated as a commodity, but it's something that people would go for, especially when there's a lot of competition. The bigger and better the brand, more and more people would come to them. Think about Coca-Cola, think about Starbucks. In our Philippine context, think about SM, think about Jollibee. That put the Jollibee anywhere. As you put Jollibee anywhere, more and more people will actually go and try to connect with them regardless of gaano kalayo yung food stall na gagawin nila. So I hope that helps you. Randall Choxon asking, saan ako nagpagupit? Sa Talas Manileño in Cubao. Hello to Eileen Emano from Abu Dhabi. Alan De Veres asking my thoughts on AGI. Sure, Alan. We'll try to add that to stocks by request. No, again, the most number of votes, it's what we'll analyze there. We'll try to do at least 10 stocks at the most for stocks by request. So, what else? You have Chester, hello from Dubai. Eileen from Abu Dhabi, hello. Gerald, I just mentioned the SM, so especially when the markets open tomorrow, you can just reference the video that I posted there. For now naman, it had a great price action last. It had a very good price action last Friday. What's happening to now is it broke out from the resistance at 2.9 and another resistance at 3. So what's interesting to watch for now is if it stays above 3 pesos per share, the next target price over the short term could be around 3.35 to as high as 3.7, 3.8 pesos per share. So I repeat, for those following now, it broke out from two resistances at 2.85 and 3. So if now stays above 3, it could go to around 3.4 levels to as high as 3.75 levels as well. So I hope that helps you. But you have to remember, everything for now, telecom is under the presumption of what it could be in the future, not what it is right now. It still needs to establish a good level of earnings. So it's still at the point where it's still speculation of what they could be. And ako, my style is really, I don't try to speculate. If I'm investing in something, I want to see it from the numbers. I want to see how good it could be in the stock. We have John Joseph Mendoza, sabi niya, hello, winter is coming. Oo nga, I know, John, you're a very, 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 very good fan of Game of Thrones. Pareho tayo, I really like Game of Thrones. On tip. So, on tip pala to. Oh my God. Hello to everyone there. Then you have Joel Tobias, MBT. Sige, we'll add that in stocks by request. Then June Gory, hello to you. Hannah C will include CPG as well in the next stocks by request. So just keep on sending your stock entries, no, and then we'll try to analyze them for stocks by request. So do you guys have any other questions aside from specific stock requests? If not, sige, I'll try to, if there's no other questions not related to stock picks, I'll try to answer at least 3 stocks. Should you guys have any other questions? Parang you like the stock analysis more than any other question. So I'll give an opportunity to a lot of people who have questions that are not just by stock picks. So we'll try to I guess answer it from that perspective first. So there, Ains, we just talked about SM. Hello to Onej from Qatar. Qatar is July. It's July. Sorry, Qatar is July 10 to 15. July 4 to 10 is UAE. So sabay siya. There was a question. I like the question of Jacob Yedra. How will Puregold or Emperador move tomorrow based on the rebalancing? That's a very, very good question. What I could do is I could look at the charts, but I don't know. My style really is I don't try to guess or speculate what will happen to the market. No, but what I know is for Puregold, it's still bouncing off and it's still moving in its uptrend. There's a resistance though over the short term that Puregold needs to go above. There's a resistance at 45 pesos per share that for Puregold to go up over the short term, it must bounce above 45 pesos per share first for it to actually continue its uptrend. But the strongest support that you can see for Puregold is around 42.75. So if Puregold bounces above 45, we could probably see it go up and challenge around 47 pesos per share for the stock over the short term. But for mid to long term traders, we don't have a sell signal yet for Puregold. Let's look at Emperador as well. For Emperador, interesting also. Emperador is pretty much bearish. Friday is one thing that you would want to consider. The stock dropped quite significantly. It dropped around, let me check. Puregold dropped from 6.85 to 6.3, dropped 7.3% in just one day. But even prior to that, even September last year, the stock was already bearish. So between the two though, between Puregold and Emperador, something that's in a long-term uptrend up against something that's pretty much bearish, I would like Puregold based on the trend. I don't know what will be the movement specifically tomorrow, but what I know for Puregold is the trend is up, the trend is moving forward. For Emperador, it's bearish, and I don't know, I'm not a fan of buying stocks that are bearish relatively, especially even if they're cheap as well. So wait, just to clarify some other questions. Hi Sir Marvin, is the market will turn bullish tomorrow? You have to understand from a trend perspective, the market needs to break out still from the strong resistance at 7,450. It hasn't broken out from it yet. So I believe if it hasn't broken out from it, it may have a hard time still to reverse and turn bullish over the long term. If you look at the PSEI, and I've been quite consistent in what I mentioned about it, the strongest resistance now for the PSEI is at 7,452. It must break past that first for it to turn bullish for the long term. With that, the market has been sideways. However, there's a short-term resistance at 7,156. If the market fails to hold 7,156 tomorrow, I think we may see another drop to around 7,040, 7,050 for the market as well. So there have been spurts of movements for the PSEI. However, we're still moving in the sideways range. It's moving from 7156 and it could possibly go near 7374, but until it breaks out some 7452, it will take a harder time for it to break out as well. So there, more questions please. Okay, there's a question from Angelo Pulinga asking about bonds and preferred shares. What's your question about that? What's your thoughts about what's your specific question about that? Then you have June Gori asking about the Fed hike. Here's the thing about the Fed hike. You have to understand that it's guaranteed amount, it's guaranteed earnings, it's guaranteed money coming from the interest rates that the U.S. federal government would give investors. So every time there's a Fed rate hike, expect money to move across the U.S. The U.S. is still the largest economy in the world. It's still considered a safe haven for investment. So expect stocks, especially in our region, that whenever there are Fed rate hike increases, money will move from emerging markets, the Philippines included, back to the U.S. However, though, it does not. You have to look at it from the stocks that you're watching. What do I mean by that? If you're holding Jollibee, the thing that I'm gonna think about, there's a Fed rate hike. How does it affect the earnings of Jollibee? Will people stop buying Chicken Joy? Will people stop buying spaghetti? Will people stop buying the products that they produce just because of the Fed rate hike? So what do I mean by that? If the stock would go down because of the Fed rate hike, but it does not change anything fundamentally, then if you're a long-term investor, it becomes a buying opportunity for you. You have to remember things like this that would bring markets down that does not have any change fundamentally. It's something that you could do and use for long-term investing. But for those who are following the trend like me, by the way, I love fundamentals, but I love technicals more. Fundamentals is something that I need to select my stocks. Technicals on the other hand is something that I use to be able to trade the markets relatively better for me, so that I could time it. For those who are following the trend, regardless of what happens to the Fed rate hike, stocks that are in an uptrend, stocks that are breaking out, will continue to do so. Like for example, East West Bank, Surpass, Shakey's are doing relatively well, but stocks that are bearish, stocks that have been breaking down, still will continue in that fashion until something shifts, until something changes. So I hope that helped you. For those who were inquiring about that, for those who are asking naman about SM, I mentioned it already prior to the video. So that sell-off also triggered the drop or the massive selling in the PSEI. So all of these videos will be uploaded in my website and in my YouTube channel. So if you want to get back to it, especially for those who just came in, we'll try to analyze that even more. Raymond Obsina is asking, what about the oil industry? Any insight for Picor? What about it specifically? Do you have any specific questions about it? In what take now? But here's my guidelines for oil, and I've been consistent in saying this. I'm not really a fan of a lot of stocks that could be battered down by the global price changes that you're having there. There's so much things that I can't control with oil, also mining. That's why I haven't been a fan of stocks that are highly affected by it or into that industry. That's why if you look at a lot of the things that I've mentioned, especially when I go to Bloomberg, I like consumption stocks, I like the property sector, because those are things that I could easily explain. I could easily know as well how good they will be in how they're earning. I like what Peter Lynch said as well. One thing you must consider when you're buying a stock, especially for investors, like talking to investors right here, you must know and have a decent explanation for the stock in 1 to 2 sentences that on why you're buying it. You have to understand, a lot of people would like to buy a stock na aakyat eh. When people would ask me, Mark, why are you buying that stock? People would say, kasi I want to sell it at 10% up. I want to sell it at 20% up. I want to sell it pag dumoble na siya. Everyone wants to sell it pag dumoble na yung stock nila. But you have to remember, selling it at a profit is not a strategy. You need to know buy and sell signals for you to be able to trigger if this price that you're buying it is actually cheap. Is it actually bouncing from the technicals as well? So I hope that helps you. You have Wilson Flores from Kamuning Bakery also tuned into us. Very, very popular bakery in Quezon City. He's one of the people well respected as well when it comes to property investing, and he's a Philstar columnist. Okay, Raymond Absina, let's go to JFC, your favorite. Bili ako Chicken Joy. Our JFC though is still in a downtrend. And JFC is in a downtrend and it's still expensive. So those are a couple of things you need to understand, especially if you're an investor as well. It's not about just buying a good company, but buying it at a relatively cheaper price, something that would be attractive for you as well. Question from Wilson Flores. Are you optimistic for the Philippine economy in general? More infrastructure, more tourism boom? Of course. I don't know. It's been something that I've made the conscious decision. Number one, I try to grab a hold of my financial future. That I don't let the circumstance around me dictate how I live my life. But you're correct, Wilson. No, the economy now is so good. Inflation, though it's creeping up, it's still in manageable levels. Our unemployment rate is at its lowest as of this point compared to a 20-year span. Then you also have more Filipinos now actually producing and working. You have more Filipinos now who have jobs that are contributing and spending. That's why we're a consumption-driven economy, because you have so much Filipinos now with a higher spending power as well. Asking me about infrastructure, yes, I believe that. That's why I've been very, very bullish in not just construction companies but cement companies as well. Since I know that the economy will be headed in that direction, as more infrastructure is built, it will not just build business and commerce, it will also build tourism, and it will create tons and tons of earnings for construction companies and cement companies, plus the jobs that it could possibly create. So not just that, the infrastructure will help I guess alleviate a lot of the traffic concerns that we're having right now. So I hope that helps you. You have Cristiano Bragado watching from Abu Dhabi. CHP now, I'll include that in stocks by request, no. But if I just mentioned just now, so you can backtrack the video about it, but it just broke out essentially last Friday. CHP is bearish but tried to bounce from a support level. JR Go, Wilcon IPO is a good buy. Essentially, I like the company, but I'll create a solo video for Wilcon in the next few days as well. Okay, more questions that's not stock pick related. We'll do stocks by request. In the next video this week. Don't worry. So lahat ng mga votes nyo, I keep tabulating them, no. Okay, you have Gerald Mangdi. It's asking, sir, your thoughts on Sir Marvin. Can you give me your thoughts about what upcoming IPOs can we patronize? Sige, what I can do is I'll try to segment each IPOs that's coming out. So we have a lot of good ones. So you have Celeb, then you have Cebulan Masters, then you have Wilcon as well. Then you'll have a couple more in the pipeline that hindi pa natuloy from the previous year. So you can balance it out from there. But again, I'll repeat the guidelines. I mentioned this already earlier. You want the money na pupunta from the IPO to go to expansion, hindi lang pambayad ng utang. You want the company giving more primary shares dun sa IPO nila, meaning it goes to the company, not just to the owners. Dun sa 4 na IPO that we had last year, the one that went to expansion, the one that went primarily to the company was Golden Haven. Cemex, they used it to pay off debt. A large part of the IPO just went to debt repayment, similar to Shell as well. Shell was more of also something that was mandatory, part of the oil deregulation that they needed to list their stocks as well. And lastly, Shakey's, majority of the shares that Shakey's released were secondary shares, meaning it really didn't go to the company, it went to the owners. So I'm not really big fan of that. I like it when it goes specifically to the company, because of course you're a shareholder. You want the money that you invest to benefit the company over the long term. You have Dwight Pototan saying, watching from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Joel Tobias, kailan yung UAE session in July? Need to plan leaves. I'll repeat this. UAE is July 4 to 10. Doha, Qatar is July 11 to July 15. Francis Zapata, we just mentioned about the PSEI, so you can just backtrack the video when it's uploaded. So you have Francis Zapata. Next, what else do you have here? Sir, what are the indicators that you always use? It depends. I use a combination of price and volume oscillators, but yeah, MACD, RSI, I use it. But depending on the application that I want, depending also if I would do a quick trade or a position trade. So I segment my portfolio. Meron akong stocks that I use for quick trading. Meron akong stocks that I use for position trading as well. So more questions. Interesting, no one's asking about other things specifically. And here's an encouragement for all of you though. Don't just try to know what stocks to buy, but my encouragement is try to know the logic on why those stocks are being bought, meaning the buy parameters. It's easy to rely on specific stocks that you want to buy, however, that you can't build skills that way. Profitability in the market happens when you know the right principles, when you have the right strategy, but not just the right strategy, you also have the right experience. The principles I can teach you whenever we do Stock Smart sessions, that's what we teach there. But the strategy is something you build from the principles. Are you going to use this type of moving average, this number of length? Are you going to use primarily just fundamentals? Are you going to combine fundamentals and technicals? Are you buying off a bounce? Are you buying because of a breakout? So you try to combine all of those things when you start investing. That's your strategy. But what will make you stand out is also the experience in the stock market. It's the confidence that when everyone doesn't want to buy, you're buying because the parameters that you have that you're looking at is telling you to buy the stock as well. And that's when money's made. If you look at different investors from Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, Ray Dalio, a lot of the respected investors that made a lot of money, they all had different styles. Not one of them doesn't mean that they're wrong because they had different styles, but they found something that fit them. And I really hope that that's what you guys do also. You find something that fits you. So there, I'll try to accommodate one more question. Do you guys have one more? And then we'll call it a night already. Market opens 9:30. It will be exciting. Rebalancing, foreign selling, Fed rate hike. There's so much to watch out for. But at the end of the day, if it's a good company, fundamentals are there. If it drops, hey, it becomes a buying opportunity. If you're a trader, if it's in a downtrend, avoid it first. So there was a question about Forex. What's my take about it? I know a lot of people who are doing well in Forex. Hello to Benedict Soriano from Italy, asking about AP. We'll include that in stocks by request. For Forex, I know a lot of people who are earning well in Forex. You have to be very good at technical analysis. My suggestion in any trading platform, don't just buy because of news, don't just buy because of speculation, don't just buy because of a big macroeconomic event. You must look at where the trend is headed. I repeat, you must look at where the trend is headed. So like what Jacob Riedro was asking between Puregold and Emperador. Emperador is pretty much bearish. It really had a hard time breaking out from long-term resistances. But Puregold is pretty much still in an uptrend. I'd go for Puregold more than Emperador. So something like that. You need to be good at technicals. If not, you will be swallowed by the market, especially for Forex. And Forex has a lot of margins involved. You can lose your money. It can become zero. As compared to the stock market, hindi mas zero money mo unless you have you trade on margins as well. So I hope that helps. Another thing, I don't know. Start your Monday night, Monday right as well. I hope that whatever you're carrying from last week, may it be problems in business or in trading, don't carry it anymore into a Monday. Start your Monday fresh. Start your Monday new, and always be optimistic, because I believe that there's so much more in store for all of you, that God has blessed you, not just to get through life, not just to get by, but to be an encouragement to people around you. You're meant to do great things, and it's not just about the money that you have. Your bank account, your wallet does not define who you are. You have to remember this. The amount that you have does not speak about how rich you are. You have to remember it's what you see yourself, because how you believe and see yourself doing. It's what you will become as well. If you think you're a loser, you'll be a loser all your life. But if you think that you are walking into something that's bigger and better than what you have right now, that's what you will walk into as well. So I hope that all of you listening here, we have 1% of the population in the Philippines investing in the stock market. My goal, my deepest desire is to increase that. We want to see more investors in the Philippines. We want to see the Philippines be a better place, and that's why I love doing these videos, because you'll see a lot of negative videos there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a person who's gonna speak life about the Philippines. I'm a person who will take a stand. It's our generation already who's gonna take the Philippines to the next level. So start those businesses that you want to start. Invest as much as possible, because I really believe this. Pag madaming Pilipino na nag-i-invest, walang maghihirap eh. Kasi why? When you invest and when you start businesses, you create more opportunities for other people, and it's time that we as Filipinos take a hold of that. I guess that's it for me. As what I always say, trade well, trade strong, trade smart. This weekend, I'll be in Tokyo. 3 days of Stock Smart sessions there. So sa mga taga-kababayan natin from Tokyo, I hope to see you all there. After that, we'll be back in Manila for fundamental analysis this March 25 and April 1. Then Stock Smarts Davao, end of April. May Stock Smart Singapore and Icon 2017 with a lot of amazing people there. And then Australia this June, Doha, Qatar, and UAE this July. So Gensan, General Santos also this August. So thank you so much to everyone. Stocks by request, I promise we'll do another session this week for all of the things that you've sent. No, so I hope you guys learned a lot today. As what I always say, trade well, trade strong, trade smart. God bless you. Have a great week ahead. So I'll turn it off now.